What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I've already seen some polarizing commentary on this fragrance, and I actually quite like it. We're talking about the new Acqua di Gio Profondo PARFUM. Now, I may have some interesting notes to share with you guys across how this one smells and performs and so on. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Now, first things first, the presentation has changed a little bit as there's no longer the frosting to the glass from the previous version of Profondo and the new re-release of Profondo Eau de Parfum. I guess for branding purposes with this, they wanted to release the first one as Eau de Parfum. So you have that dark blue to clear gradients. Doesn't have the frosting, states Parfum right there. And this is a 100 milliliter bottle. They did not release this in a 75 and 125. This is 100 milliliters. And then, very happily, the return of the magnetic cap. Yay us. That's all I can say. I love the magnetic caps. And as far as the atomizer, the usual. Gets the job done. But let's talk about this scent. So, it smells like Profondo. Shocker, right? It should. But it does smell like a heavier, warmer, more ambery, resinous type of Profondo. So aquatic, saltwater aquatic, citrus, sure. Smells like Profondo, like I said, but not as scratchy synthetic because it's not as bright, it's not as fresh. But the labdanum here, I find to be a bit ambery. It's a little woodsy, like a warm ambery, woody, amber wood. Even though they don't list amber wood, they may have it. But it's an ambery, woodsy, resinous type of feel. It's like a warm aquatic or an amber aquatic was how, kind of how I've been portraying it to people. And that might not be for everybody. I do like with designer parfum flankers when they warm the fragrance up a little bit, especially if the initial release was a very fresh fragrance, a la Bleu de Chanel Parfum, Sauvage Parfum, and so on. You get the point. Polo Blue Parfum. Like we started off really fresh and got warmer, heavier, more resinous and or more warm woody as we increased the concentrations and evolved the scent profile. And that's what they did here. So I can really appreciate the effort here where I've seen people mention cash grab. I've seen people complain about performance, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I've seen a lot of things. I quite like it. I put this up there as top 3 in the line, which not everybody's going to agree with me, and that's okay. It's just my opinion, just like your opinion will be your opinion. I think it smells great. I prefer it to Profondo. Now, in the high heat summer, it's still going to work fine, but the original would be better for that. It's brighter, it's more airy, it's super aquatic. Super aquatic. That aquazone note with the marine notes and everything, just incredible fragrance. Maybe not for everybody, but I've always liked Profondo. I like Profondo Parfum more. I actually like this more than Profondo Lights, the previous limited edition flanker that they did that was much more green, was heavier on the rosemary and stuff and such. That I thought that was superior to Profondo, where if you were to rank the 3, I actually like the original Profondo the least versus this and Profondo Light. So again, it's personal preference and taste. It is my opinion, and that's how I feel about it. So you get aquatic, you're getting citrus, you're getting warm, woodsy, and a little ambery resinous across the board. I don't really get a whole lot of floral or anything like that. I don't get the loads of mineral notes from the previous one, which I've actually seen somebody mention they really enjoy. That's omitted from there. So glad that whomever that, I apologize, I don't remember who that was, but I'm glad they're happy about it because it didn't bother me either way. I did like the way the original smelled, but I do like the way this one smells just that much more. Now, performance. This is where you're going to hear the crying and belly aching from people. So longevity, not an issue. None whatsoever. 8 to 10 hour range. I clocked it at 9.5 hours by the time I went to take a shower, and it was still coming off of the skin. It was not a faint skin scent. Projection. This is where the belly aching comes in because it's a moderate average projector. Arm's reach, nothing heavy, nothing bright, because for some reason, because certain parfums, they are loud. So it sets an expectation for people to think it's going to be a louder fragrance. No. Most of the time, when you're raising oil concentration, even though the formula was tweaked, when you're raising concentration, you're going to lose some of that top You bring out base notes more. It's going to wear close to the skin. You're going to have a thicker sillage, a thicker cloud, a thicker trail, which we'll get into in literally just a moment. So projection, average at best. The previous two versions of Profondo, much louder fragrances. If you're looking for something to scream off of the skin, go for, Profondo Lights is not easy to get because it's discontinued, but go for Profondo. You're going to lose that warm, resinous, aquatic smell of this to go with the brighter, fresher aquatic, but it will be a brighter fragrance. It's louder. It really pops off of the skin, at least for me. The other one does. So if you're looking for a strong projector, I've seen the feedback, and it's the same for me. It's not a strong projector. It's definitely not. I would say average. It's just average, arm's reach type of stuff, nothing crazy. First hour to 2 hours is when people will smell you. I would say hour to hour and a half of projection. Average stuff. So crying and belly aching. Been seeing it already. People want everything to be a beast. This is not a beast. If you want a beast, go with the previous version. That's God's honest truth. They already have that beast for you. At least in my experience. And then with the sillage, this is where it shines, as do most parfums, because they're a higher oil concentration. They linger. My wife made sure to let me know multiple times yesterday that the trail was very strong on this fragrance. And I think that's due to that labdanum in the oil concentration, the way it's blended. Like I said, because labdanum can come across leathery sometimes, but it can also come across ambery. And in this particular fragrance, the type that they used, it's, to me, very ambery. I know I keep going back to that because I really, really love the way this is reworked. It just smells incredible. And the way it wears suits my taste. I don't need something to scream off my skin. Any of you that are familiar with the channel have seen a lot of my reviews or know my taste. Designer parfum flankers are usually my favorites because most of the time they're not the loudest, but they are the warmest, the richest, the most resinous, the most refined take on the scent profile. And of the three, technically four versions of Profondo, because you got to factor the original Profondo, the new re-release of Profondo Eau de Parfum, which is a little different. There's a slight difference. I have both. And then Profondo Light. So this is technically the fourth Profondo to come out. It is definitely the most refined, the most polished, and the smoothest of the bunch. That's like the main reason why I love, like I put Bleu de Chanel Parfum as king of the mountain. Sauvage Parfum is my favorite. Polo Blue Parfum. All the examples I gave earlier are my favorites in their own lines, and they have multiple fragrance releases in those lines. And it's because they wear a little heavier, wear a little closer, they last a long time, they're warm, rich, and refined. And this falls right into line with all of that. So technically, I would call it an above average performer, but you got to remember, above average longevity, average projection, and I would say in that moderate to heavy. So moderate, slightly moderate, heavy range for sillage because it does linger. It does have a nice trail. So above average. Final thoughts on Profondo Parfum. I know this was kind of a wordy review. You know, I had a lot to say because I was eagerly anticipating this release because I'm a big fan of the line. Some of you won't agree with me on this, but this is my second favorite behind Profumo. It's okay if you don't agree. Don't get mad. Some of you are like, oh, I ain't complaining right now. Don't get mad. It's just my opinion and my taste. The Eau de Parfum, the Parfum, they're all good. You know, absolute, incredible. Big fan of the whole line, but this one, for my taste, impressive. I put it behind Profumo, which I don't think will ever not be the king of the Acqua di Gio mountain. And with that said, to me, 9 out of 10 outstanding for what it is as far as a release in this line, because I'm mainly judging it across the line because there's so many flankers that I really enjoy. I mean, I enjoy all of them in this particular fragrance line. I think it's outstanding for a designer aquatic. I really like the way they reworked this. The performance actually suits my taste. I don't need my fragrance to pronounce I'm here. Trust me, I have a loud enough personality. I will pronounce I'm here. Let my fragrance catch you after. You don't need to be a loud person and have a loud fragrance. That can be a little overbearing. I understand who I am. I have no qualms about me and my personality. I have a big personality, so my personality projects plenty. I don't need my fragrance to go crazy. Certain situations, sure, but most of the time, daily wear kind of stuff for me, this is what I'm looking for. Great longevity. It's got a good sillage. I can still smell myself and enjoy the wearing experience, but I'm not going to overwhelm myself, my partner, or anyone else around me, but they'll still smell me. It just won't punch them in the nose. 9 out of 10. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on the new Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio Profondo PARFUM. Great release for me. Great release for me. Maybe not for everyone, but certainly for me. I love it. I very much love it. One of my 5 favorites that released this year as far as designers. If I would have waited till I got this to do that video that I did last week of the recording of this would have been in there. I don't know what would have got bumped. Something would have had to go to make room for this, though, because I quite enjoy it. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you were part of that crowd that's complaining about this one that I was talking about? It's all good. Be respectful in the comments. Complain away. It's all good. How many of you actually quite enjoy it? How many of you agree with me, kind of agree with me, completely disagree with me? Like I said, keep it respectful in the comments. It's all good in the hood, you know? Try it if it interests you. It's hitting department stores. Get out there and try it. I'll have a link down below for where I picked it up from Joma Shop. Just know I ordered this on, it showed, I have to be transparent here because I'm not ordering from Joma Shop anymore. They do this to me all the time. It said ships in 1 to 3 days. I ordered it on April 2nd. It is April 23rd. This came in on April 22nd. 20 days after I ordered this. And it said ships in 1 to 3 days when I ordered it. So, happens all the time. They take my money and it takes weeks for me to get my fragrances. It happens almost every order I've ever made from them. So I'll put the link down there for you. Maybe you'll get lucky and get it in 3 or 4 days. Maybe it's more readily available in their stock now. Who knows? But that was my experience with this particular order in this particular fragrance. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on Profondo Parfum and you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.